Sina tamaa. Unajua yule senator alikuwa na tamaa kidogo, ndio unaona akapoteza kabisa. Yeye alikuwa senator na alikuwa anatamani kuwa governor. Akanikumbusha ile story ya umbwa ambayo ilikuwa imebeba nyama kwa shingo. Kwa mdomo. Ikafika kwa daraja, ikaangalia chini, ikaona umbwa nyingine kwa maji iko na nyama.
Na ni yeye mwenyewe tu.
Ikaachilia nyama, ikaingia kwa maji, ikapoteza yote. Sasa ilikuwa kama huyo senator ambaye aliacha nyama yake.
Because of the work of a man called Dennis Oleitumbi, very effective work, I must say, politics in Kenya and political analysis is in a mess. Because it is very difficult sometimes to know what are facts and what are not facts. It is also increasingly difficult for anybody who is trying to learn the ropes of political analysis to be able to tell the difference between what is important and what is not important. And also, what certain developments in politics really mean politically, what they're telling you. It is very difficult. And then this same well-oiled Dennis Itumbi, UDA propaganda machine, is very effective. Let me give you the latest example. In the current elections taking place, the places which were left out by Bwana Chebukati, because of errors in ballot papers. Hiyo ulisikia wapi? Errors in ballot papers. In this digital age, where you create everything on your computer screen and you send us an email, and those people simply convert what you have sent to them, and put it on the printing machine. And so maybe Kenyans need to ask, was the error made in Nairobi deliberately before it ever arrived wherever those things were being printed? Because any printing expert will tell you the answer to that question is yes, and therefore the error must have been deliberate. In those places which were holding elections yesterday, very early we were told, and people believed, that the Mombasa race was lost to Azimio people. UDA were taking it. The UDA candidate was ahead. In fact, he was so far ahead, there was no way Bwana Nassir of ODM would ever catch up. And then the story changed. Oh, they're so close. They're so close. This is a tight race. But it looks like UDA are taking it. What? And then the story changed yet again. And we're told, UDA have taken Mombasa. Mfanye vile mnataka kufanya. Lakini UDA has taken Mombasa. And many people believed it. Now that is an illustration of how powerful the propaganda network and machine of UDA is. And of course of the deputy president. Folks, it is a mess. So let us bring things into proper perspective concerning what happened yesterday. Okay? Now you imagine you're a foreigner, a political analyst with some experience, and you're a foreigner. You know nothing about Kenyan politics. You have never been to Kenya before, and you arrive as polling stats. And you look at the presidential election results, and then you say the following. Based on these presidential election results, these particular elections which were left out and which are being carried out now, my prediction is that they'll go 50-50. UDA will have about half the seats because I'm told the other fellow, Raila, is also a little popular. And then 50% will go to Azimio. That is my analysis. That's what this expert would say. And based on the election results Chebukati gave us, that expert would be absolutely correct. Yeah, based on the rules of this game, if you can call it a game, of politics, anywhere in the world you want to go to, okay? The rules are the same. Yeah. A region may differ in culture. Maybe people vote on a tribal basis. But the basic rules of politics and understanding it and analyzing it are the same. It's a constant. It never changes. Even throughout the ages, from the beginning of time, it is constant. And so, based on that, this expert coming into Kenya, who would have said that those seats will go 50-50, and in fact, UDA may take slightly more seats, based on the presidential election results, that expert would be absolutely correct. But what happened yesterday? Please tell me, what happened yesterday? Out of the 8 elections held, Azimio swept 6, and only 2 went to UDA. Both the gubernatorial seats went to Azimio, emphatically. Let me spell it out. This is further proof that Chebukati's election results, it's not the IEBC, because not all the commissioners agreed. Chebukati's election results that announced William Samoei Ruto as the winner and president-elect must have been fake. They must have been lies. That came out very clearly from the election results we're getting. It is not me who's saying. It is the election results talking to us. So if you want to throw any stones, throw them at the election results, not me. Kumekucha Chris. Okay? And what was even more interesting, was that people were caught doing funny things. People were caught with marked ballot papers, both in Kakamega and in Mombasa. Those 2 key gubernatorial races. And I'm sure you can guess, these people who are trying to fiddle with the election results, fiddle with the elections, you can guess from which party they were coming from. Which particular political outfit they were trying to regain. You can guess. I'm sure you know. I think it is ODM. No. It may be Jubilee. Or maybe it is Wiper. Who have consistently shown us that hakuna njia ingine wanajua but to steal an election. Okay? Now, of course, it's not all those parties I've mentioned. Please say the people responsible with me. UDA. Yes. Those who are the people consistently caught trying to steal this election. This was a very important election for ODM and Azimio. And therefore, in their desperation, it would have been understood if they tried 1 or 2 funny, dodgy things. But they didn't. Once again, it was UDA. Oh boy. Now, Kenyans are very frustrated just now. And if you don't understand the frustration of Kenyans, let me illustrate it this way. It is like playing a game, a soccer game. Your team is playing soccer according to the rules of soccer, but your opponents are playing rugby. Same match. So when you take the ball and try to dribble to go and score, they pick up the ball and run with it. Aye? How can such a game proceed? But that is what elections in Kenya 2022 were all about. One side was playing according to the rules, soccer. The other side was playing a very rough version of rugby. Very rough. And still breaking the rules of rugby. That's really what it was. And we saw that very clearly in the elections that took place yesterday. It was as clear as day. The so-called alleged popularity of the candidate called William Samoei Ruto was missing. It wasn't there at all. While the popularity right across the country, because if we were to look at the areas where those elections were held, from Pokot, Kakamega, all the way down to Mombasa, yeah, that's a line cutting right across the country, which would give you a pretty good sample if you're doing research. Indeed, this would be very good polling results, yeah, to gauge the popularity of the two major presidential candidates. And I've told you the results, and you can see the percentage on your screen right now. That, my friends, is the win a man called Raila Odinga should have had on the 9th of August. Yeah? Because this is a genuine and doctored poll. That's what most Kenyans don't realize. When you think polls are done how? Not everybody is interviewed. And it's not a question of numbers. It's a question of taking samples. And these samples from the different areas in Kenya, even in Ukambani, should give us a very accurate sample and a very accurate poll of exactly how Kenyans voted. Now, I find this super fascinating because there's another a very huge disadvantage. According to the basic constant rules of politics, you see, people tend to move with the crowd. People tend to move towards power. Okay? Now, since we have a president-elect, William Samoei Ruto, the tendency on the ground should have been for voters to vote for UDA and the UDA candidates. Why? Because it would give them an advantage in enjoying the national cake. Since the president is UDA and this candidate standing for governor is UDA, let's elect him. We'll be able to reach the president much more easily through his governor. The president will favor our county because our governor is from his political party. Our governor will be spending a lot of time with the president. He can get in a good word for us. So let's vote for the government that is coming. That is human nature. That is exactly the way people should have voted. But look at the results. Did people vote like that? No. And so we need to ask ourselves the simple question. Why? Why did voters defy human nature? Why did voters defy the constant rules of this game called politics? What went wrong? The answer, my friends, is simpler than you think. Those voters right across the country had one very strong emotion. And I'm going to prove in a minute why that particular emotion I'm going to mention is the correct emotion people had when they went to vote. People were angry. Voters were very annoyed. Why? Because they went and voted, and when the results came out, they did not reflect the way they voted. You see, some people think Kenyans are stupid. Some people must think it is very easy to fool Kenyans. No, you're wrong. Fooling Kenyans is no easy task. And even if you fool them today, you will not fool them tomorrow. Yeah? Watu wamepitia mengi Kenya. Watu wamepitia shida nyingi. And the more challenges you face in life, the cleverer you become, the harder it is to fool you. Ngumu sana. And so voters went to the polls to punish UDA. That's really what happened. In other words, had these particular elections been held on 9th along with the others, in my view, UDA may have performed a little better. Yeah. But the fact that these elections were held after the massive fraud against the people of Kenya that occurred on August 9th and the days after, people were not in a good mood. Now let me give you more evidence that people are angry. What happened to the people who were suspected, let alone the people who were caught red-handed, with marked ballot papers? Anybody who was suspected to be doing anything fishy, how did the crowds deal with them? You tell me. Kenyans walikuwa hataki mchezo. In fact, I have my people on the ground in Kakamega. They told me some very interesting things. You see, in Kakamega, Cleophas Malala has been holding very successful rallies, thronged with many potential voters, cheering him on, very happy with him. Of course, part of the reason is that the Kakamega people say there was a lot of money flowing from Malala's campaign, and they were enjoying it. But guess what happened yesterday? People were so annoyed, they did not want to see money. True story. Now, I know this sounds fiction. Who can be so annoyed they don't want to see money? You tell me. Even if you're very annoyed right now with Kumekucha Chris, you're so upset with me, you're thinking in your mind, if I could just get hold of this guy, I would punch him several times. Yeah. And then I approach you and I tell you, Shika 100K, or even that's a lot of money. Shika 10K. What would happen? Would you be still too annoyed at me? No. The way we know Kenya these days, you would smile and quickly change your position. Now let's go back to Kakamega. People were so annoyed with Malala, they did not want to see money. A few people tried to offer money, people were not interested. Hao watu wa Kakamega walikuwa wameamua. In my opinion, it is very dangerous when you have that kind of mood in the country, especially when there's a case which is relevant, which is linked to the mood a vast majority of Kenyans seem to have. Yeah, that case is going on at the Supreme Court. It is very dangerous, because depending on the outcome, could have trouble. Oh yes, people are angry. Watu wamekasirika, not a good thing. Because we all know the rules in the legal game. Yeah, the Supreme Court is not going to operate by public opinion. No, they're going to operate only on the evidence measured against our Constitution. Period. They're not going to be looking at anything else. So supposing they look at all that evidence and they decide according to our Constitution, they'll make a decision that will not make angry Kenyans happy. Oh boy. What do you think might happen? Not good for the country. Not good at all. You know, half of me is Luya. Let me give you some information about the Luya. The Luya are the most peaceful people I know. Hawatakangi matata. They are so laid back. You will do many things to a Luya. They will just smile and move on. Things that if you went elsewhere in Kenya to another community and did them, the response would be very different. Luyas are very peace-loving people. They're very friendly. In fact, their friendliness is only rivaled by what you'll find at the coast. True story. Now, when you have people in Kakamega Luyas annoyed, doing things that suggest they're not being friendly, they're not being their usual self, folks, that means trouble. Trust me, you may be a supporter of Azimio and you're very happy with what happened. That's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But even in your happiness, ogopa, this is not a good situation at all. You know, there are many Kenyans who are also annoyed at the government. They're still asking, how could the government allow all these bad things that happened on August 9th to happen? How could they allow people to do what they wanted as if they owned the country? Where was the government? Where was the intelligence service? Where were the police to fish out these people and thwart their evil plans, which were against Kenyans? They were not against Raila Odinga. They were against all Kenyans, including UDA supporters. Although UDA supporters don't yet know it. Yeah, but one day they'll know that it was against them, not for them. And of course, those of you who have taken in my weekly intelligence briefings, number 83 and number 84, you totally understand what happened. The government was very present. All those security organs were working overtime. Oh yes, they were very busy. And those who have taken in my WIBs, 83 and 84, know exactly what I'm talking about. They know why that is true. They have seen for themselves with the events that have unfolded in the last few days that the contents of those two WIBs are more than 100% correct. As unbelievable as they may sound. You know, somebody can tell you something and you tell them, no, I don't believe that. No. My mind can't wrap itself around that. That is possible. And indeed, the contents of these two WIBs can be described as such. But even those who felt like that initially, over the last few days, because I've received a lot of emails, I've received even telephone calls from many people, many of them have now changed their position of failing to wrap their minds around something that is so crazy. And now they're saying, yes, Grace, you are right. This is precisely what is happening. Because it all makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. Okay? Now, by the way, you can take advantage of my latest special offer. It is the last offer I'll offer on a low price. The previous offer was better. Yeah, but there's only a slight change. This time I'm taking the year in which the Supreme Court nullified the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah, that was 2017. So for only Kenya shillings 2017 Kenya shillings, you can get a full year's subscription to my WIBs. And of course, this means that you also receive all past WIBs, 84 in total, all of them with highly sensitive information that will help you understand Kenyan politics in a way you've never understood it before. Yeah, so please go for it. This offer will be up for a very short time, I assure you. 48 hours tops. Yeah, so rush and take advantage of it. I'm sure you have seen the details on your screens right now. Yeah, about what you need to do. The same details are repeated in the description area below and also in the comments area. Yeah, so go for it. Folks, the election results of the elections that had been left out on August 9th speak very loudly. They also speak very clearly, and they tell us only one thing, and one thing alone. Okay? You can ignore it. Of course, you can choose to ignore it. That's your right. You can say it's all lies. You can say all manner of things. But that will not and will never change the naked truth and the facts as they are. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekoche.